this is the start. So pretend you just got your license and you're trying to figure out, oh crud, what do I do, right? And you know you're supposed to be doing things, but you're not sure exactly what, right? And that's what today kind of got started with. So this class will cover, if you look at the next part, it's got like, what are your goals, for example? What do you want to do as far as your tabletop, how to get your marketing going, and then contacts and follow-up plans, right? That's pretty much the gist. And so let's go ahead at this point and start with our quick goal plan. And Mom, if you can, because this, I've always modeled my business plans kind of for each year off of a good goal and a great goal, okay? I love having a great goal because even if I put that great goal out there, because even if I fall short, I'm still gonna more than meet my needs, you know what I mean? So when you're talking about your quick plan, think of everything you would want. In a perfect world, you would pay your bills, obviously. You'd have plenty of savings, you'd be able to donate, you know, everything you want to do. Pay off your debts, pay off your house. You know, what is that number, right? What is your goal on that level? I'm sure a lot of people can make do with $40,000, $50,000. But I'm sure if you made $150,000, it would probably benefit people.
Because I think it would be nice to have, you know, everything on a monthly basis taken care of, but it would be great for in other words, you know, maybe the only outstanding bill I might have would be my house, but it would be great to have that paid off so that then whatever money comes in that month is for whatever.
My true happy, and this it's going to sound kind of, I don't know, it is what it is. My true happy, when I broke down donating what I wanted, traveling like what I wanted, having her school taken care of, my magic number was $249,000 a year. And that allowed me to do everything that, literally everything that I wanted to do.
Okay, will you come here and look at this?
Yeah.
It was in part 1 of this book.
I have a lot less going on.
Yep.
Probably
I only wanted to earn
this.
this much this year so that it does not affect my Social Security.
Perfect.
But look at my second and third,
Yeah.
because this is where it comes in.
You're doing a wonderful
To
person.
support
You get to
Michelle's
do
Yeah,
dollar
balloons don't
goal,
take that
and to
much out of the
support
overhead.
Brooke's dollar goal, we're
Okay.
going to be the co-listing agent, so they can get in touch with somebody all the time.
Okay.
So that's kind of what,
Well, for them, don't worry about that at the moment because that's going to be supplemental, okay? So
Okay.
your income goal is exactly what it is, the 19,000 or whatever your max is. What was it maxed out at?
15,000.
15,000.
Well, it's 17, but I've made other incomes.
Okay.
Well, once it goes stratospheric,
And
you
if I
can
can't
say
have
goodbye to your
that,
limits.
I want 1,500,000. So there you go.
So,
Then I don't have to worry about interrupting my
Right, you won't need
And
my
every-
standard.
to interrupt.
and that's the beautiful thing about what we do. Everything has a plan. So if your magic number was 1.5 million, you can do it. It is doable. Everything's just scalable. You're just going to do everything on a much larger scale, pretty much.
So it's either 2
Yeah.
to 200.
Okay. So yeah. So you're going to just need 2 sales approximately the next year, and you're going to hit yours pretty much. But then hopefully things will happen, and we'll have to get creative.
I'll have to do 200 instead, and that would be okay with me.
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to the numbers are the easy part. The next part, when you get to number 4, here's where you really we get into your plan, and that's what I really want to focus on because everybody, it's fun to talk numbers. Yeah, I want to make $1 million, but literally that doesn't mean anything without the plan getting there. And so the main source of leads that you're going to convert. Okay. So what do you want to tap right off the bat?
Circle of influence.
There you go, perfect. Or you can tackle open houses, internet leads, you know, but yeah, your sphere is the best place to start, hands down. Okay? Now, your sphere, base it off of the 10%. That's the one, so out of every, okay, so the one main source that will bring you the greatest benefit, that's going to be your sphere. How many of those leads do you need per appointment made? Now, you're going to find it takes about, getting started, about 4 appointments to truly get a listing. Once you get your flow going, you could find you get 3/4 of your listings. You know, mine was like 7 or 8 in a row, and before I missed one, Pebble Creek screwed me up. I didn't target my person. She was. Is that your phone?
Oh, I'm sorry. I usually turn it off for meetings.
It's all good.
Thank you, dear.
So, what are you going to tackle? Like, what would be your main source that you think? I mean, there's a big variety.
I'm debating, like Marilyn, I want to really get my database set up so that not only is my sphere of influence, but that includes my family and friends,
Yeah.
you know, but more than that, to get in the habit of at least daily for 5 days, trying to tackle, you know, 20 to 30 calls a day,
Okay.
so that the leads are being taken care of the way they're supposed to.
Okay. So, all right. So let's figure this thing. Here's where you have to start somewhere, and it's really hard to calculate a snowball or building momentum. Okay, and that's the hardest part, because we know it can convert at the 10%, but it takes 6 months to really hit them where you turn into the Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew, Chevy of your friends and family for real estate, right? So fortunately, you're not starting from scratch. I'm going to sneeze. Forgive me.
Bless you. Pinch your nose.
Okay.
Look at something bright.
Purple a little bit, or hippo, whatever it is. It worked. Crazy. Okay. So, we know the goal is 10%. That is the goal in the long run. It takes 6 months to build that up truly. Okay? So, let's say month 1, right? And let's really do this. Okay? If you guys are both on the same plan, everything, this should be good. Okay, so we're coming up on June. Okay? So, utilizing your friends and family, what do you want to do in June? What do you want to send out? How do you want to send it out? What do you want to do?
Well, I think it would be fun. I mean, June, you're looking at the start of summer. You
Okay.
know, if quote unquote, we could address Father's Day.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm thinking there's 2 bits of contact, but specifically for the summer is protecting yourself with what is it? Your lotion, you know.
Oh, sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreen. So sun safety,
Yeah.
and hydration.
Okay. Okay.
So you're talking about part of a drip campaign, or are you talking about a newsletter? Or
Well,
just
that's
chat, or
exactly
just
it.
topics
That would
to
be-
chat about?
That would be my drip campaign, is that I would have the 2 means of communication.
What are your 3 contacts going to be that month? Exactly. So, are you going to send that out in a newsletter? And this is where, once you get to your nitty gritty, we're going to be able to pinpoint this. So, for example, right on the surface, newsletter. It's cheap, it's easy. If you're willing to take 2 to 3 hours per month to customize it to you, so it's not the same thing they're going to get 6 of on the first of every single month, it's definitely worthwhile, right?
Well, you know, okay, so like the newsletter actually would be kind of focused maybe on like summer safety, so it could include like the water and the sun, not only when you're like playing in the pool, water type stuff, but as far as the hydration and then the, protecting of your skin. So I would look at it that my newsletter would actually be kind of a health thing that month.
Right.
And
Coming
then
from our end, that makes sense.
My Father's Day thing is just, Happy Father's Day.
Okay, so here you go.
And Stepfather's Day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's where you can be really
Adopted
cheap, but be
father,
careful.
I mean, all of the special men in your life.
How many federal holidays are there?
I think we came up with, was it 7? Or maybe it was 9. I have to think now, okay? Because we didn't really do it.
I used to work for the government.
President's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, New Year's,
You have New Year's.
Federal
you have,
holidays.
President's Day.
Martin Luther King Day
There
Yeah, I think that
are
one's considered a
was the
Yeah.
last one.
Martin Luther.
1, 2,
then,
3, 4, 5, 6,
you
7,
have
8,
Memorial
9,
Day.
10. There are 10
federal
federal holidays.
4th of July, Labor Day.
And Fed holidays.
Thanksgiving. Does that include Veterans Day?
Plus more if you want.
Veterans Day is federal, right?
And Christmas.
Okay, so that's 10 contacts right there.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5, 6, 7,
Now,
8.
if
So
you-
I'm missing.
If you call your clients or your database quarterly, that would be 4 more contacts throughout the year. Okay? At some point in time, you really need to drop in the pop buys. That's not how you spell pop buys. You're gonna pop and buy them stuff. No.
BY.
Pop
Buy. Yes. Okay? And calls.
Yeah, I can't say drive-by.
Okay? So if you really want to be cheap and easy about it, your newsletter, if that goes out monthly, you got 12 contacts right there. If you send out your holidays, that's another 10 contacts right there. Okay? If you call each person 4 times a year, that's another 4. Okay? So where are we at right now? That's 26. Okay? We just need basically 10 more. So what do you want to do throughout the year? Can you do 4 more? Can you drop by twice a year to them? Okay, so that's 2 more contacts. Okay, and that's 4 contacts. And then you have whatever else you want. You have birthdays, anniversaries, you have actual picnics, client appreciation events, you have comps that you could send them. Having your plan right off the bat just makes it so much easier. Okay.
And they having it in detail, huh?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you said
Exactly.
Just to figure out
2
later.
pop buys a month would be 12.
Not one of those things.
No,
that fits in
2.
editing.
It's if you each client. I'm just saying twice a year. If you could pop by, like if you have 400 people in your database, that's 800 stops. That is how many a week?
Yeah, we've been there, we've done
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, bite off only
But
what you
for a
can
different
chew.
cause, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you could swing by and say hi to everyone monthly, that
Ours
would be
was,
wonderful.
ours
you know?
was every 90-day cycles. And I think that
Yeah,
our
4
caseload-
visits a year.
4 visits? Perfect.
Plus any emergencies which happen frequently.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and this is a great one, okay? So if you truly focus on it. Now the only thing I'm going to say is balance them between friend and family and business, right? You don't want to own every single thing as a realtor. You're going to quickly stop getting invited to things, right? So balance it properly. My thing was twice a year I would call all my past clients, friends and family for my obligatory business call, right?
Yeah, just staying in touch.
Yeah, it was
my
one of those things.
obligatory business, what?
Yep, it was my obligatory business call.
Oh,
And so
okay.
and it was so funny because I had 3 friends in particular who I've known forever, and I'd call them up and they're like, "Hey Brian," I'm like, "Hey Josh, how's it going?" It's like, "Good man." He's like, "Is it that time of the year again?" "Yep, yeah." Have you guys thought about selling your home this year?" "No, not this year." "You know anybody that's looking to buy or sell?" Well, actually this year we might. You might want to give so-and-so a call." "Okay, great. Thank you, man. Talk to you later."
That worked.
And after about 5 years, you go through phases where it's like you're scared to call it, and then you realize it's not the end of the world, and then people get kind of annoyed with it, and then it turns into a habit.
And after a while, you see the patterns. And you change your approach a little bit.
Yeah.
And smooth it out.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. I was scared to call them up front because I didn't want to be the salesman, and then it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then after about 3 years, they got annoyed. Josh, you're calling me all the time. Obviously, I'm not going to sell. I know, but I have to do this every year just in case. You know, and they're like, okay, fine. You know, and, and so that's that. Okay, so to get back to question number 5, okay? How many of these does it take for you to truly get an appointment? And that's the hardest part, because a lot of it has to do with timing. Somebody might be ready next month of your 400. Who knows, right? It might take 3 to 6 months before it's ready, okay? What I can tell you is that if you stick to this, you should get the 5%, okay? Just stick with the 5%, no less than, 5%, no less than. It'll take time for your referrals and everything to work, but it will eventually get to between 5 and 10%, okay? So, if you have, let's just roll with 200 people in your database, okay? So let's say you have 200 people in your database, and you're going to be sending these out. So you have 200 newsletters going out every single month, and you're trying to add to it every open house, every person you meet, you're just adding to your database, right? Every holiday, send out an email, but if you can, do something else. Send something real. Drop it off. Give them a flag for 4th of July. You know, whatever it might be. Set yourself aside. Whatever else you can. You know, whether it's, what was it for, what was it? I always go back to Sandy for her holiday.
Oh, her
things.
flowers, you mean?
Well, it was.
She did like, you mean her meal thingy or her?
What did she do? Was it for Easter or Christmas? It was something just uniquely different that she gave to her people, and it was only like 100 people.
I think
that
she had a
gave it
little
to.
bag that she had something in the bag.
Something I can't remember what it
And
was.
she always had like the
It wasn't
pencils
the
with the flowers.
Real estate agent survival kit, was it?
No. Hers was always for a really cute thing for the holidays, and it was thoughtful. And she'd usually make it and put it together of some sort, but she only did it to about 100 people, right?
Like her favorites were.
Yeah, well,
It
her
was
little
within her
community
neighborhood.
where she kind of
Oh,
owns it.
yeah.
Oh, she'd go and deliver them.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, and but she'd email and send things out to a lot of people, but she really owned that 100, that group, you know?
Okay.
Absolutely. And so that's where she really utilized the holidays, is my point. Because everybody emails stuff out. So
Right.
you're just going to be one of 1,000. If you're not there, you're missing out.
Right.
But what can you do to set yourself aside? And so holidays can be huge. And holidays can be Grandparents' Day, Kids' Day, Secretary's Day. I mean, if you know your people, utilize them. Absolutely. Nurses Day.
Yeah.
You know? All right, so Popeyes. Popeyes are the face-to-face. You cannot beat Popeyes. They are everything. But the question is, are you using it for real? Are you stopping by as the realtor, or are you just being that social butterfly? It's being able to fuse the two. Yeah.
So when you say Popeye, it's like if I look at my sphere and say, well, I haven't seen Angela and Steve for a while, so I'm just going to pop by and see how they're doing. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Absolutely. Let me see if I
So
can.
in other words, I choose who I want. It's not necessarily the same person every month. It's
Correct.
somebody different.
Correct.
Okay.
And if you're really good, you actually make a list and figure out who you're going to be, and make sure you don't
Okay.
miss anybody throughout the year. Yeah, exactly. Brian Buffini is the man, and let me see. I can almost guarantee he'll have something that we can watch really quick about his Popeyes. Popeyes, the joys of giving. There you go. Which one do we want? This one has more views.
Next, Popeyes. How many of you on occasion like to see a person face to face? Okay, look up here. How many of you like to bring a gift to somebody? Can I see your hands? Great. This system is designed for you to bring gifts to people.
See, that's
Bring
what I
gifts to
did-
people.
that's what I was
Popeye,
trying to
bring
do
them a gift.
last week.
Now the way we do it, I'm going to go quick. It's simple things. It's July 4th, which is coming up. Ketchup, mustard, relish. Has a little tag that we provide. Just pop it by the ketchup and let me know that I relish your referrals from your realtor who really loves the mustard. $5 a piece, popping by, have a trunk full of them, go see your favorite 25 clients.
Okay.
I would take that over a $10,000 advertising budget. How many of you could do that? July 4th is coming, okay? Easter.
Oh,
Americans
Holly.
love colored formaldehyde. These are 17 years old and still fresh. Have your peeps call my peeps. People love it. Okay? This is for us. So we have a client that works in our retirement community.
He's awesome.
Oh my
When the
gosh.
urge to move hits you, call us.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Now, we give you the tags and where to go and what to send. Sometimes people get off the reservation, okay? Now, sometimes they get away with it. Like this
Who's
is
the first lender?
for Thanksgiving, you know, your referrals never stop.
And
Okay,
Kristen,
we'll let you,
because
okay.
Kristen was very.
And then they get off the reservation altogether, okay?
Look at this
Don't
man.
hook up with the wrong realtor. Here's the thing, people.
Oh my
This is not
God.
Stay right here, okay? Dun, 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 dun. We give you what? None of this. We want just right here. So you members, you go into your members area, you download the tags, it gives you ideas, it has it by season, it tells you what to send and how to send and the way to send it, and away you go, and you can do your thin mints for St. Patrick's Day, scouting for a realtor, all those different things. You can find moving stuff. Here's packing, customized packing tape. Glad I could help you wrap this up. Remember, I'm never too busy for your referrals. It gets your logo on there. You bring boxes and packing tape to the listing appointment. Tons of stuff, tons of stuff. We have hundreds and hundreds of those ideas. Simple to do.
Okay.
Print off the tag, go get 10. And listen, go visit your favorites. Go visit your favorite people and do some pop-bys. How many of you think you could do this? Can I see your hands?
Okay.
How many of you think you could send something in the mail once a month? Send something electronically once a month? Make a phone call to everyone in your database once a quarter. That's harder. I'm talking about a sorted and qualified database. How many of you think you could write a couple notes a day? How many of you could do a pop-by and bring something really neat to people you really like? How many of you like this idea? Could I see your hands? How many of you have been working our system and you've seen these things produce tons of leads for you? Let me see your hands. Okay. It's common sense, it's just not common practice. This system was developed by an Irishman. There is no Irish space program. It's very simple. God created alcohol to stop us taking over the world. It's a very simple thing.
Oh, great. He's awesome. Yeah,
But he's into people.
yeah, completely.
Yeah, that shows.
Yep.
Comes across really well.
Yeah, there's no these. Like, do you remember when I had everybody come in for the game plan? Yeah. I don't necessarily subscribe to all the trainings because that would be way expensive, but I try to keep up on everybody, right? And so every year, Tom Ferry, Gary Keller, Brian Buffini, they all come out with their game plans for the year.
Oh, okay.
And so I try to keep up on them, and I'll actually broadcast them and invite people, because this one, like Brian Buffini's game plan for 2017, that was where I learned a lot of the details of his stuff.
Is it right on his website?
Yeah, this is YouTube, so,
Oh, okay.
yep. And, yeah, so there you go. So Popeye's wonderful. Okay, so let's see, how many leads do you need per appointment made? Okay, so this is where it really gets into the nitty gritty, because think about it this way. Okay, and let's kind of reverse engineer, so any math people help me out if I kind of mess this up. Alright, so let's say you have, how many people in your database right now, each of you?
I think I have like 175.
Okay, 175?
I think so.
Perfect.
Roughly, guessing. I could be exaggerating.
Okay, so 175 times 5% is approximately what, 8?
175, roughly, yes. Here you go. 175 times 0.05.
Okay.
Yeah,
8.75.
So let's say between 8 and 9 sales. Okay? So, and it's going to take you 1 to 3 months to build. Okay? And here's kind of a realistic expectation of it. Between month 3 and 6, hopefully you're going to get 1 to 2. Truly. And then between 6 and 12, you're hopefully going to get 3 to 4. And then 12 plus is when you're going to start getting your hopefully 9 plus sales per year. Okay? So that's kind of a realistic breakdown of how the first year will work. Okay? Now, if you have your 400 leads, basically double it. That is not, it's not very scientific, but that is kind of how the snowball momentum takes place.
Works. Yeah.
Yep. Okay? So let's pretend you did the hard work and you built it up, and so now you are reaping the benefits of your hard work. Okay? So you're going to get 9 sales a year. Realistically, 9 sales is going to be closer to 20 to 30 appointments truly throughout the year. You're not going to get every single one. You're going to get the referrals. You're going to go out there and it's not going to work. You might have a clash. You might not be motivated. You say, I'm not going to work with you.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like that video your dad showed this morning, they'd really like to say.
Right? So, out of 175, hopefully, you're going to be adding to it. But to get the 9 sales, you're going to have your 20 plus appointments throughout the year. Okay? So your 20 plus appointments equals down to, you should hopefully get 2 to 3 appointments per month. That would be the goal from 175.
So I can't do this math. How many appointments does it take for a closed sale? And if we're using the input of 9 sales out of 20 to 30.
So you guys had to choose the sphere. This is the hardest one to do the numbers on. Every other one is very straightforward and you can move forward. Because, okay, how many did you have up front? How many was in your database?
I don't know.
Let's say,
I don't have my database together, but I'd say there's
Say
a good
20.
300.
300? Okay, so if you have your 300,
Times 0.05
Yep.
is 15.
so hopefully you're going to get your 15
Yeah,
sales.
real people.
Okay, so we're going to go
Well,
after the
house,
year.
they
Okay?
haven't talked that.
So of your 15 sales, you're going to realistically, my goal is I try to get 3/4 of my appointments if possible. But I have a lot of experience and I've worked really hard on converting, and some people have a 2 appointment method. Like, I'm going to come by today, but I'm not even going to try to get the sale because I know I'm going to close them on the second one. I don't have that much confidence. So I close on my first try, and I'm really, really good at it. But it took me probably 6 years before I could even remotely say that I could close half of my appointments, right? So a lot of it has to do with you.
Practice makes perfect.
And confidence, knowing what you're doing, being able to... Real estate's not hard given you're not just a salesman. You have a need, you need to get from point A to point B, I can help you get there. And I can do it fun and quick and get you what you need. Perfect, That's, if you can just logically make it that kind of decision for them, of course they're going to work with you, On the flip side, if you're like, well, we're or if you're like, well, I don't know, I'm gonna put in all this.
Have I ever been that way?
Like, if you need to be that confident agent that can help people. If you can convey that in your appointment, you're going to be a killer listing machine because you're just helping people and it makes sense.
You're going to be a killer listing machine.
It's the people that don't know how to help people that really struggle. If you're just scared, oh my God, that's a $500,000 house, and all you see is this price tag going across, you're going to struggle. If everybody's just, you're a paycheck, or you're a closing, it's never going to work.
Well, see,
Right?
I'm not afraid to talk to people. I talk too much. And that's what I struggle with, is where's that balance that says more than anything, I want you to be happy, and I want you to be in the home that you've dreamed of, instead of, well, then, and I overwhelm.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's do an exercise, and it's one of my favorites. Hey Molly, would you mind playing? Because I want to actually listen if I could. Please, just 1 minute. I love you.
Besides,
All right.
Grandma's helping us.
Well, Molly's helped me with this before. It's the question game.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
All right, so you two are a couple. I'd love to see this. All right, so basically, you have to respond with a question. You could acknowledge the question before, but you have to immediately turn it into another question. The first person who can't follow up with a question loses.
Okay.
Okay, so you and
All right,
Molly
you, Molly?
and you two go together. I want to hear you two go back and forth. Or if you want, I can be with you, but somebody's gonna collect
And it
that.
could be any question?
Just anything. You guys
In
just
other words,
start
how was
talking
school
like.
today?
There you go. So you ask.
Okay, you go first.
It was good. How was your day
How did
today?
you like
My
your
day
today?
was fantastic. What'd you
It wasn't bad. What kind of clouds do you
I took
think were
a
out there?
test. What did
I was thinking they were cumulus or something like that.
And then what they're
possibly.
like,
A little upswing at the end. I think they were cumulus or something.
and I-
I don't know. Were they? I don't know. No, that's an argument now. A 5-year-old argument. I can go 5 years old really fast.
Did you see any that were
It
pretty?
was great. How about
I saw so many pretty ones. I took a lot of pictures. Guess how many?
What are you doing after
With you in the
work?
camera?
you? Honey, it's gonna be
I'd
8
say
o'clock.
at
We're
least
going to
3.
bed. Do you think you
Well,
could
it's
get
3
better?
videos, so it probably came out to more like 3 million
See?
images.
You have
See,
to
you're
stay
answering
all
his
night.
questions.
I-
That's the
I
catch.
lied.
It's hard. It's
just-
hard.
I lied.
Agents want to help people.
Well, I just now asked a
Looks like
question.
I
I
set up
explained the
about
answer to my
7.
last guy. So we
I
both
get up
lost.
at
See, it's tough, but that's
It
one of
is.
the best ways to not find yourself talking if you're always just spitting it back and then let them answer.
Right,
And then
finding
you have
out
to,
what their house is they've been dreaming about.
yep, or whatever
See,
it is.
and I keep thinking
This is
Robin
so
Leach, champagne dreams,
Champagne wishes and
Well,
caviar and
I-
dreams.
yeah, that's what I keep
She
thinking that when I
developed
want to help somebody.
She
I
developed
want
a great
your
set of
wishes
questions
because,
to
you know-
get a good idea of what people want quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it shows a checklist. Are you looking at anything like this, like this, like that? You know, churches, schools. Where do you shop?
Yeah,
Do you want to be by a golf course? I mean, it's good.
that's one of the things. I wonder if I have it nearby.
And mostly, if people just won't come out and say that stuff, she elicits it. It's like
So she draws it, you draw it out
Yeah,
of them.
it's like trying to direct a non-performer in a video. You don't make them act.
I know, it's called
You
modeling.
elicit the performance. You trick them into acting.
You know, I bet
But not to me.
What
do
do
you
you,
have the any of the books from Breakthrough or
Oh,
Breakthrough by
that
Design?
guy breakthrough?
Well,
That other guy?
well, I was just gonna pull because that's the benefit of not necessarily using scripts, but having a script.
Right.
It keeps you in line. You know, you don't necessarily want to read it verbatim because it's not going to be that, but
This one,
it
honey?
keeps you from veering off track. You
Right.
know, and letting the other people take control. You know, and so like right here.
I like plans because when I start ad-libbing, it never goes the same way twice.
Yep. Yeah.
Isn't
Here you go.
that the joy?
So like buyer questionnaire dialogue.
Well, no, if
Right.
I don't keep it consistent, the next time I talk to them, they start wondering if I have a split personality.
Is this your book, Bob?
Ooh. I don't know if that's my book or not,
Yeah,
because
this isn't your handwriting. It kind of looks weird like mine. It might be. But, for example, like here's just a list of questions. What's most important to you? And having this next to you when you're calling keeps you on track.
Yeah.
You know? And then
Compared
I
to
love
that.
how like these,
I
because
can do
these,
that stuff in my sleep.
Right.
yeah, like, and here's where going to the actual class, it's like, have you met with a lender? You know, like you're anticipating.
You haven't
Would
write
you
those
be
down anymore,
interested?
do you?
You know, when to smile, when you shake your head. Oh, I've asked you so many questions. Do you have any questions for me? It's so funny. So having stuff like this is awesome. Heck yeah. And
Because when I asked Robbie this morning if I was emailing right, you also said that there were scripts or little blurbs that she uses that are successful that I can access one of these times. I was telling Richard what a great meeting we had this morning.
yeah, she's awesome. She has a lot of experience. And her and I, for about the first 6 weeks, we role played a lot to develop scripts
With Roby?
For us, yeah, for our type leads and because to create more of the conversation base that I think is better. You know, do we convert as high? Maybe, maybe not. But do people come back? Do people use us? Yes, absolutely. You know.
So is Roby mostly phone contact?
Yep.
That's all she does.
That's all she does.
So she's really, really good at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She lived in California, and she was telesales there. But then she moved. She got, well, long story short, she was one of the head people for one of the top teams in Texas, and she was in charge of their call center. And then she left, she got married and moved to America, and then they ended up moving back to the Philippines to be with her family.
Okay.
So we caught her literally the day she moved back from California to the Philippines.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. I hate
That
to
was
say
good around.
what happened with Roy was terrible.
But I was telling Richard, yeah, she's calling leads while we're sleeping.
Well, and see, that was what was kind of inaccurate, because she works nights in Philippines,
Was
so
it
she
6 hour
starts
time
calling.
difference? I
I
don't
think it's
remember.
11 hours, something like that. It's across the Pacific that way. So it's like the at 8 a.m. it's like
I thought it was 10 or
1,
what?
11. It's 11, something like that. Yeah. So she actually works nights, so that way she can call. So she calls when she's working full time. She works a split shift. She actually starts calling people at 8 a.m. and calls till noon, and then she takes a second shift from 4 p.m. and calls till 8 p.m. So she catches the morning group and the
So
afternoon
it's
group.
8 to 12?
8 to 12 and 4 to 8. Yeah.
I don't remember if
I
I
was telling
heard
Rich she
something right.
uses different phone numbers too, which is a nice
So
trick.
she'll call
And
one
so that
number
means
early
I
in the
can
day and a
use
different
his
number
phone.
in the evening.
She's
Okay,
good.
that's why I heard that.
Yeah, she's good. Like, and that's what she brought to the table. Like, I wouldn't have done to do that either. You know, like in hindsight, it's like, that makes
Something she
sense.
picked up along the way.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, she ran
she's
a call
got-
center.
Well,
She's
yeah.
got mentors at my out desk, and so they have people that walk her through using real gates, for example. They have people that walk her through drip campaigns.
Okay.
Like, they have a whole set of training at my out desk to make them great at their jobs. So if you work with, for example,
You mean Real Greek Geeks trains her?
they have people at my out desk that train people on real geeks. Like that's all they do is real estate. So they stay up to if let's say we use a different CRM, chances are they have people there that will teach our person how to use our CRM for us. Yeah. It's so cool. Like, she's like, I don't know how to do this. She's like, I'm gonna call my mentor or whatever, and they'll help me. It's like, oh great, cool. So, yeah.
Give her.
Okay, so,
Very generous people.
And eventually the goal is to utilize other people's. Eventually you're going to be just busy. And it's going to be a next logical step to have somebody else calling for you. You know, you're going to go to an open house and you'll be like, well, you know what? I don't want to follow up with these things.
But see, this is where it's nice if you're looking financially. I can't wait to be able to pay my assistant.
Yeah. And based on a per closing fee. Yeah. I love having to say, yep, I'll have my
She makes it
assistant take it.
worthwhile.
So, okay, so coming back to the sphere, that's what makes it hard. So, you're 15, if we break it down, ideally, if within your first 3 months, again, it's very tough to predict anything. If you're lucky like Dad, your very first phone call turns into a qualified lead. If you're like so many other people, it's an average person. Oh yeah, we can't wait to do it. We're waiting until after the first of the year, or we're waiting until the kids get out of school. You know, like right now, I talked to 2 people today who they can't wait. Like, she was going to her daughter's kindergarten graduation today, and then she had another person graduating next week from high school, and so they're going to be ready to move in 2 weeks. Like, they're going to start looking. It's like, yes, we've been following up with these people since November. You know, they can't help their timeline. That's not a bad thing.
Right.
But we stuck in there until they were ready. And that's the pipeline. Okay? If we're not following up with them, the pipeline never takes effect. But if you start in November, speak to them in December, January, February, March, April, May, and
By the time they're ready, you're still in touch.
exactly. And you have a relationship. Today I was like, hey, it's Josh. And she knew who I was.
And you still have a plan, and you still know what they're looking for.
Yeah, and it's even better because now we actually have. Today she actually found a couple things that she's going to be ready to go. Literally in 2 weeks she's going to be ready to see homes. It's
Excellent.
great. Yeah. So That's the key. You can have 1,000 leads, but if you never follow up with them, they're never going to convert.
And also now that she's ready, she doesn't have to go find somebody.
Yeah. Well,
She has you.
She has us. She already has been in contact with our lenders.
Okay.
I mean, the moment they
She's
come
ready
into
to
our
go.
world, they come into our world. We have lenders.
Yeah.
We have all the people. We have the houses there.
But that's why it takes roughly, realistically, 6 months.
Not because of you. It's because of people and their
Yeah.
timelines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you throw a wide enough net out there, you're going to find people who are motivated. Absolutely. And that's the key. See, if you're dealing with these 200, you're going to have to rely on them for referrals, and then just putting yourself out there to keep growing, right? To supplement that with like internet leads, not bad. To supplement that with an open house to get 4 or 5 new people every week, there you go. That's your business, right? So, okay, so 15, first 3 months, 3 to 6 months, but keep in mind, this is 3 contacts, 6 contacts, 9 contacts, 12, 15, you're at 18 contacts with every single person in your database by this time, right? And so between there, that's why, because you will have dominated them 36 times that first year. Just make it as good as you can, right? So the goal would be then, I don't know how to do this one, truly. I wish I could give you a valid thing. How many appointments should you get your first 3 months with 300 in your database?
Well,
I would
the
hope,
conversion
you know.
rate is 5%.
Yeah, but that's a performing conversion rate.
But
So
realistically,
that's
three.
assuming you are and have been following up like you should. Okay, which realistically takes about 6 months to build to begin with. So that first 6 months, if you can get 4 or 5 appointments, wonderful. Of those 4 or 5 appointments, if you can convert 2, 3 of them, I would say that's a win. You know, I don't know what I would have done. I lucked out. My very, very first listing, I got, and I don't know how it would have affected me if I didn't.
Well, I'm glad you got it.
Yeah, and it turned into a short sale, which sucked, and I ended up not actually. Those people skidded out. I'm not sure what happened on that
When was
one.
that, around 2008?
Yeah.
Remember the Branhams?
Yeah, short sales, VA loans, I could tell you some terrible stories I'm not going to bother to.
Well, my very first appointment were them, so I hope I got that appointment. But I don't count you guys.
We moved to the Branhams twice,
Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah. Just a quick one. It was
used to
a
be
VA
bigger.
loan, it was my first sale. I had a great title agent that was helping me through it.
They had to get the
Um,
house.
A gal in
Something
California
happened
had
with
bought
VA
a new
needed
building
more
Surprise,
documentation,
and
so they
she
couldn't
was
move
selling
into the
it.
new house yet.
Well, the
So we
VA
got
wanted
the interim
the
house, and then we moved
termite
again. We
certification.
made it work.
The builder
It's a nice
provided
story,
it to the
the way it
seller
happened, but
already and would
Which
not
is very,
provide it to
The
us.
first 3/4 of the
Even
story
though
I
the
tell.
termite certification was stuck on the inside of the meter, the meter panel,
Yeah.
the termite inspection sealed by the state, picture of it, sent that to them, not satisfactory, and they pulled the loan at the last second.
That's so weird. Yeah.
So, but my client and my broker, Nicole had a house that was empty, and they lived on base, and they were off of base housing. So at our expense, we moved them into one of our vacant family homes,
Jeez. Yeah.
and then when,
Didn't do an open house that
and,
weekend?
and they were so loyal to us because we did that for them, when they knew that if they went to a new development, they couldn't go in the doors without me.
Yeah.
They called me. Hey, we found one up here in Semtex. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So they waited for me to go in the door because they already knew
That's so
that if
awesome.
they went in the door before me, I would not have gotten the commission.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
commitment.
All right.
Yeah, both sides worked on it.
Loyalty.
It was good.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty, and this is where in the breakthrough breakout training, you're actually going to sit and go through one of my other trainings that I made, and it boils down to what is your time worth, and it goes through your schedule, exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and it comes to a pleasant surprise at the end, right? So we're going to do a kind of basic version of that. Okay, so 300 leads. Your goal is to get no less than the 5%, right? At the 5%, let's just give you a 40. What do you think? If you had to give yourself a goal up front, if you went on a listing appointment with your database, what's the chance you're going to get that listing or a referral from it? Would you say half of them you're going to go on? What would be a good number to start off with, in your opinion?
To start off doing my appointments?
If you go on a listing appointment with somebody, right, somebody in your database, what's the likelihood you would give yourself of walking away with that listing?
Oh, I bet it'd be pretty high.
I'd say it'd be pretty darn close.
I'm
So-
moving at least 70% chance.
70%? Okay, so let's do 2/3 just to be good starting
Okay.
point. Okay, so 2/3. Okay, so what is that? That would be 15, 2/3 would be,
So you got a third is 5, so you're looking at 7.5.
okay, perfect. Wait,
No, that's half. Sorry.
so
Make
20,
it 12. It would be,
well, we need 20, 22, 22 and a half?
Here.
22? Yeah, 22 and a half, right?
oh, you mean you're adding it to that?
If 15 is 2/3 of it, that would be 22 and a half, correct?
33 and a third is 1. I can't do that kind of math right now.
Well, half of this,
Well, 11, 12. So in other words,
half of this
that,
is 7.5, so if we just add one
and
more
then
onto
another
it.
half, so
So-
you're looking at 11 and a quarter. 2/3 of 15 is
No,
11.
no, what is 2/3, what is 15 2/3 of?
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Sorry.
I finally verbalized it,
sorry.
I need to.
Okay.
Or no,
22.5.
So you're
one
looking
hundred
at, it's
45.
roughly, 20. It's 19, okay.
I'm
Never
not
mind,
gonna say that.
never mind, honey, I did that wrong, so, sorry.
22.5?
Roughly, yes.
Okay. Alright, we'll just call it 20.
You're right.
Alright. See, math is wonky sometimes. Depends on which way you're looking at it. Okay, so 15 out of 22. Alright, so that means you should be ideally going on one listing appointment every other week. So that means roughly,
Yeah,
two
yeah.
appointments a month. Yeah. And based off of this, it's very doable because if you break this down, okay, like the newsletter, okay, holidays are very easy. And if you actually plan what you're going to do up front for each of them, you'll actually know, okay, 3 weeks till 4th of July, let's get our stuff ready. You'll be able to schedule them out. Newsletters, if you schedule it out, I wouldn't send it out the first week of the month. I would do your newsletter like either the last week of the current month for the next month, or send it out like the second week of the month. That way it's by itself in some way, shape, or form, right? That first week, everybody gets inundated with, So the pop buys, that's the fun part. So if you have 300 people in your database, and you're going to visit them quarterly, no, twice a year.
Well, some of them I'll visit while I'm in California.
Okay. So here's how you schedule your week, and this just makes it very easy. 300 people twice a year, okay? And let's say you're going to work 50 weeks. You're going to take 2 weeks off a year, okay? So that's 600 divided by 50. That's 12 visits a week, which is, you could break that down to 2-3 people a day. Okay.
Oh, and
And then,
we were raised never to show up to anybody's house without a gift, so
there you go.
that's a standard.
Okay. And then, so you got
I never thought of the funny ones.
And then, so if you're gonna call them 4 times a year, that means you have to make 24 calls a week to your database. So, visit 2 to 3 people a day. And then that would be basically 5 calls. And you've got a nice busy day. But the thing about this is, I guarantee if you fulfill this the way you should, you're going to be at the 10% mark. You're not going to be at the 5%. If you actually fulfill that, you're going to be the referral queen. But you see how it fills up your day. I mean, this is wonderful. So 300 people in the database. If you're going to do the pop buys, that breaks down to 12 pop buys a week. And so that breaks down to basically 2 to 3 a day. And then if you're going to call them all 4 times a year, that's 24 calls a week, which basically 5 calls a day, 2 visits a day, and you're going to have lots of sales.
And see, that doesn't even include open houses and,
You wouldn't need to do them. That's
Yeah.
the joy. If you wanted to, great, but you wouldn't need to. And then you just worry about this stuff in your free time. Just do these things daily, and you can literally make 5 calls between 8 and 9. It's so easy, you know? And then between 9 and noon, visit 2 or 3 people, and then you got the rest of the day to do whatever you want.
I'm seeing, okay.
At that point, I'd be thinking about this all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm afraid we'd get to a place that's like, I feel like it's not enough, I need to do more.
Well, the part that I would worry about is if all of a sudden 12 people called me and said, hey, I want to list it right now. It's like, why am I so worried? Ka-ching.
All right, so
I gotta do it right though, that's why I'm
9,
worried.
11, 1, 3, 5, and 7, okay, I know what I'm doing that day.
Yeah. But see how once you just break it down to the, all of a sudden it just rang a bell and it made sense, right? It's like, wait,
Yeah.
this is easy. 5 calls, okay, that takes an hour, and then that's it. It seems like, oh gosh, what do we do? Because you don't have a starting point. You don't actually have like the roadmap out. Like, oh, there's I-10. Let's hop on. Let's go. You know?
Having
But
the
isn't
template,
this-
you always know what to do next.
But isn't this where then you actually take like tomorrow, and so I'm gonna start my day at 8 o'clock, so 8 to 9, this is what I'm doing, 9 to 10, this is what I'm doing? I think that's what we have to do in order to see this
Well,
happen.
this is, yeah, and this is your sphere. Like, if you're going to dominate, if this is going to be your main source of sales,
Your niche.
this is what you should do.
Okay.
You know, for somebody who's not going to, for me, my sphere is not it. My past clients and my leads and my investors. So this isn't my business plan. My business plan is a little bit different, and it's a lot more phone calls. Let's just say that. A lot more phone calls and a lot more research, right? And that's how I have to spend my day to utilize mine. Yours is a little bit of a lot, which is why it's sticking to the plan is one of the hardest parts.
Yeah.
You know, everybody kind of knows what we should eat. Does that mean we're going to be doing it? So, but yeah, this actually worked out pretty
It's
good.
very worked
I
out.
hadn't
Yeah.
done this version of it before.
Okay, this is great, but you know what, I wanna take a picture, because I think that'll help me reinforce,
You might have to stand up.
I think I'm gonna have to.
I'm learning about taking better pictures.
11 if at 1/2.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm even upgrading to a re-editor.
Let's see.
So you can change
Of
backgrounds
opponents
easier.
needed
Ooh,
for
nice.
the year and divide that number by the weeks you will work this year. So it's 38 appointments.
Was that what you were?
Is it 22 appointments?
Well,
See,
it
those
depends.
are the contacts, so it would be the appointments. So it's 22 appointments, and if I converted 2/3, there would be 15 sales. Or if I can, right. So if I only converted a half, it would be 11 sales. No, it would be 7.5. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have your 300 leads, the 5% would be 15 sales. Okay. So instead, it would be 30 appointments if you were going to convert at the half.
30, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Not 22.
Yeah. So instead of getting 22 appointments for the same goal, you need 30. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
got it. All right, take the total number of appointments needed for the year and divide that by the number of weeks.
And so do you wanna work 52 weeks?
No, just
48
50,
weeks?
because we
50?
do have vacations.
So 50 by 30, so yeah, you're about one listing appointment every 2 weeks, pretty much, right around.
Yeah, you said 2 a week. 1.66667 is a 2.
Yeah, 2 a month. That would be a good goal. You're gonna hit it.
I think
Well, you would hit
that's
too many, because 15, geez. Yeah, 15, because you're just at 200,000, let's say, times 0.03, times 0.7, minus 125, times 15. Yeah, that's gonna be a little, that's 15 sales, worst case scenario, with your split and your transaction fee taken out.
Yeah, I could do that. That doubles my, that almost triples, no, that doubles my.
See, and that's what's so neat if you treat it like a job, okay? Your job to be on salary for approximately 60 grand a year is to make 5 calls every morning and go visit 3 people.
I like it.
That's a hard job.
Hard.
And then hopefully you'll spend the afternoon showing homes and stuff, you know? There you go. Yeah.
So I took Sammy this afternoon, and we kind of came up with some ideas for like a newsletter, or, you know, for mailing through Every Door Direct.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm gonna see if I can put her in contact with like Trish, if Trish at the office there, or whoever is their marketing person to help with printing, hopefully with no cost for the printing, depending upon what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and
they
then
just
to
charge for
help
the
her,
postage.
help her with.
Sammy would send the postage herself, yeah.
Yeah.
And with
Because
the Every Door Direct, yeah.
if they can help her with the printing,
Yep.
then her only expense is the
postage.
mailing.
Yeah, and then she's,
And
you know,
then-
and that's,
and so we
she's
came up-
advertising for that at that
And this is
point.
through your title company?
Through
It's
almost
one
any
our-
of them,
it's
yeah.
one- But it's one of our friends that we've worked with for.
Oh, okay.
The lenders and the title companies both can help you out on that level.
Okay.
Title companies in particular really like to,
They're good at that?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because,
But
you
everything
know,
you
their
send out will be
advertisement is on it,
co-branded
yeah.
with whoever, you know.
But thought maybe doing the CMA would be a simple start of providing worth or value to the community that she wants to own.
For her farm, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And if she can go that extra step and actually pick out that 1 or 2 huge sales and actually talk to some people about those, that will take it from that 1 foot in the door to actually hopefully she could potentially get something out of it.
Okay.
And
So,
you know how to do that
yeah.
with farm.
Did you say that one of your YouTube videos shows how to like create a flyer?
Yes. Oops. Whoa. Create the which one? The farm?
Just, it's like how to create a flyer for the farm, yeah.
No, I don't do it. I haven't made an actual flyer for farms.
Okay,
No.
all right. Because I told her, I said, if you come up with like an idea, most of them have people who then help, you know, actually create the flyer, because you have the idea, they can put it together.
Yeah, because your message is going to truly be dictated upon that neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, but okay, so with the playlist that we created, okay, where do I have it? Did I create a farming?
Is this your YouTube channel?
Yes,
Yes,
it
we
is.
Okay.
did a farming one.
Where did I?
That's when Miss Sims was here.
Breakthrough
Oh,
tree.
no, he has, it's,
Oh,
yeah, okay, you're talking, when Sammy was here, you're talking about, yeah. But Josh did an actual video of farming.
okay.
Yeah, like here's like the Real Geeks videos, like the CRM Training 1, Part 2. Both of those I think are pretty decent. The Getting Behind a Cause is like my favorite video I've ever done.
Getting behind a cause?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dad did a good job today bringing up, you know, the value of why you want to do that.
Your follow-up plan, Part 2. How many follow-up plans do you need? To make leads respond to you, change your baseline. Oh man, I see we have a lot. Mindset, lead follow-up, firing listings, no follow-up, training. Creating a farm as a real estate agent. There we go.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Josh Ezell. I'm
it's only
Devin Bendis,
11
broker
minutes.
and owner of Breakthrough Real Estate and Property Management. Well, welcoming you today to our training on farming. Here in Arizona, I'm pretty sure along with many other parts of the country, having a farm is one of the most important and best things you can do as an agent, especially when creating and growing a business and truly creating a sustainable business. So let's go ahead and dive right in. To make it easy, I have a listing right now that I think is a wonderful home. And so let's go ahead and see if the neighborhood itself is a good neighborhood to do a farm. So we have this listing here. It's on Astor. It's in the community of Viramonte in Surprise. So the first thing we would want to do is go over to taxes. So here in Arizona we use monsoon. I already opened it up here. And what you would want to do is go to the tax search and then immediately go down to subdivision. And let's see how many homes there are in Viramonte. A good starting chunk, and you'll have to find the best number for you.
So,
but I found 5.
Yeah, but the breakthrough training, I kind of cherry picked a lot of the, not just mine, but you'll notice like there's videos from a lot of people all over the place. You know, yeah, so like there's some Brian Buffini in there. You've got Real Estate Uncensored. Oh, Floyd Wickman. He's one of my favorites. This is the guy that with the Sweathawks course.
Who is he?
Floyd Wickman. And that was the guy that I found his course at that at the yard sale, and I had no idea who he was. It was just how to, you know, get in real estate, Sweathawks. So, yeah.
And the other gentleman, Brian Buffini.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see their videos too. How's his last name spelled?
Which one?
Brian.
Buffini.
Oh, common spelling. When Marilyn married me, I told her, get ready to see how many ways Conlin can be misspelled.
Yeah.
They mostly call us Collins.
Really?
Yeah.
Collins. That's interesting.
Collins, like
Yeah.
Collins.
I've seen at least 20 ways.
Yeah. It's typically some of the easier ones that people get really creative. You know, what was at the gymnastics meet? Her mom's last name was Raridan, and she's since gotten married. But her last name was hyphenated, Raridan Ezell, for years. And in gymnastics. Well, one time in gymnastics, she Molly Raider Ezell.
Oh no.
Raider Ezell.
I thought you were a foreign exchange student.
Oh, it's like Raider Ezell?
It's from Latvia.
Yeah. But, like, it's funny, it's interesting learning where your names come from. Like, where do you know where your
It's
name
Scottish.
It is?
Okay. My maiden name was very hard for men to pronounce.
Still is.
It's spelled M-A-H-O-R-I-C. Please say it.
M-A-H-O-R-I-C? Is it Mayorich?
No, men can't say it because it's Mahoric.
Mahoric.
It's easier to
There
spell
we
it out
go.
than read it.
Yeah.
And they teased me in school. My whore.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, it's not,
I'm so
I mean, it's
happy
funny
to
now,
have
but
your
not
last
then.
name. He said, we love my family. He goes, I'll take your last name. I go, no, no, no.
Well, I wanted to make it
It
easier
might
for
be
paperwork.
very rare, but it's very hard to pronounce.
Well, it's like Swallows and Associates. You know, they've embraced
Oh,
it.
I know that.